ShinRobjira.
Today we're going to be talking about the Bandai movie monster series Gamera Rebirth, Zigra, Viras, and Guiron. Ironically enough, all three of these figures are both smaller than I expected and bigger than I expected. I guess I'll go over that as I go through them. For the most part, they are within the standard sizings of that of a movie monster series figure, be it horizontal or vertical. And yeah, here's some size comparisons compared to other Bandai vinyl figures, and then some. Let's just get to it. Alrighty, I think it's tag time. Up first, Zigra. Color, Gamera Rebirth, name and year, nothing of major interest on the inside, Gamera Rebirth poster on the back. Unfortunately, all of these figures are going to follow this exact same trend. Bland ass tags. I'm sorry, but it's true. I wish these tags were a little bit more well thought out. Color, Gamera Rebirth, name, year, Gamera Rebirth poster. Nothing of major interest on the inside. Viras reminds me a lot of Alien Hominid. Color, Gamera Rebirth, name, year, Gamera Rebirth poster on the back. Since Guiron is like deep blue, maybe he should just go into the sea. Nah. What a rousing start to things. Let's take a look at Zigra and be utterly wowed by absolutely just one thing. And here he is, Zigra. And yeah, he might not impress everybody, and I know he really doesn't, but the detail at play on this shiny little sea-bound hubcap is really quite nice. Rather impressive as well. He just looks like a blinged out, chromed out, spray-painted Gauss. But again, the detail at play here is truly great. I mean, god damn, this looks good. I mean, everywhere on and around and along this figure just features some really nice detail. But like always, this is something that we expected. They might not have all the paint in the world, but they do have all the detail. Sometimes. Now, of course, there are going to be some differences between the two figures. The titty and chestal areas are both very different from one another. The legs are mostly the same. It's more so what's around them or behind them that are going to be different from one another. In fact, I think Zigra's claws are a little bit longer than that of Gauss's. Actually, the detail for the toes overall are a little bit different from Gauss. And then we have the tails, which very much alike do differ from one another. That being said, the heads are also very different from one another as well. So I gotta give Bandai some credit here. The painted on pupils, which may or may not be part of the sculpt, are done very nicely. The red isn't bleeding onto other parts of the face, and for the most part, it's neat and tidily done. The major downside being that's kind of really the only other alternating color you're going to get on this guy. I know this might be a controversial take here. Take a look at this, and then take a look at what Zigra looks like in the trailer. I feel like a lot of these colors that we're seeing and missing on these figures that we're seeing in the trailers are likely just due to circumstantial lighting. No, that really doesn't excuse the fact that this is, while flashy and nice, kind of on the mid side. Yeah, mid is a good way I would go about describing this figure. I mean, no articulation, one solid color, save for the eyes. I do give Bandai credit for the eyes and the pupils, because for the most part, he is looking straight forward. If you can even friggin' see that, Jesus. Maybe at some point after the anime comes out and we see just what happens with Zigra over here, we'll get a land version of him, since that was such a pivotal part of his character in Gamera vs. Zigra. And obviously, I'm gonna give this thing a solid star in terms of details, because fuck. Lot of detail. I mean, just look at his neck and chest area. There's so much going on here, and I just now noticed that the tag is poking through the other side of the figure. Yeah, this is a very thin figure. He's thin, he's flimsy. That doesn't stop the fact that this guy, detail-wise, looks really damn good. I do know that Goji Rider K did a repaint of this figure and absolutely nailed it, as expected. Half a star in terms of paint, solid star in terms of detail, no rating for articulation, because there is none. Alright, time to do SQUID. I know it ain't just me, but Viras' head looks like a vagina. Just a bit. Let's just zoom on in over here, take a closer look at all of the fantastic detail, both on the softer side and on the harder side, giggity. And yeah, Virus, whatever, is really repping some great detailing going on over here. Both on the harder armor-plated looking skin and on his softer exterior. Thankfully, such things are going to be viewable from practically every point you can look at the figure from. And I really have to give Bandai credit regardless of how they make their figures. This looks damn good, even from up top here. Virus's face is very squidgular, whatever the proper term is. Species talk aside, we have a lot of great detail on Virus's head over here, both with the armor plating and what's below it. We'll try and get a better look at that soon. But the eyes over here are going to be this metallic, almost pink looking color with black slits for pupils. Of course, it's going to be like that on both sides, except the pupil on this side over here is a little misplaced, but nothing too crazy. For the most part, Virus is looking rather straightforward. The details on these little bits over here are nice, while not screaming with them. Again, I do think they look pretty dang nice. I apologize, this is the best angle I could get of Virus's mouth over here, but as you can see, Virus does have a mouth, just like in the trailer, and you can see some teeth in there as well. I'd go about peeling these back more, but they look like they're glued on, and I don't want to end up breaking this or anything like that. Looking at these more claw-like looking tentacles over here, we're going to get that same crackly looking detail that we're going to get on the head over here. Nice and shimmery gold. Just look at that. Yeah, very nice. Essentially the exact same thing on the other side. Both sides. Now let's take a look at these gold-plated parts on top of Virus's tentacles over here. Yet again, the same amount of detail we got on the head and frontal tentacle claw things. And they all feature pretty much the exact same detail. Now I did want to discuss one thing before we moved forward. In the trailer, if you look really close at Virus, you can see this part of its head and these tentacles and everything are a little bit shinier than the rest of his body. I think those parts of his body are a little bit more of an armored deal going on. And I think the metallic paint was more so just put there in place of a gloss. I don't know how much better this figure would have looked with gloss instead of metallic paint, but yeah, there's that. I've been seeing this ever since this figure was revealed. People are upset that the green parts aren't on Virus, and I really gotta ask you, what green? Virus is yellow. The night shots that we've seen are lit a very dark blue. And under a certain amount of lighting and shadows and such, that could make Virus appear green in some areas. I just think that these golden parts are a brighter yellow, the rest of its body is a darker yellow, a lot like this figure, and I don't think there was ever any green present on the model. Moving on down to the bottom of Virus over here, that's definitely a butthole. Its beak is up here. What's that supposed to be? It's a butthole. It's an air vent. It's something. It's an orifice. But enough about all of that. The more you pull out of Virus, the more you will see the cornucopia of details that awaits you on the undersides of its body and tentacles. And you know what? This is really impressive stuff here. We've got the teeth over here on the suction cups area. We've got some very nice detail for the undersides as well as the undersides of the armor-plated pieces, I guess. And while not as impressive up top, it's nice to see that the tentacles are at least consistent. I mean, I imagine they're all, for the most part, the same in some way, shape, or form. Hey, yo, look at the detail up top at the tip of these. Pretty similar. But anyway, Virus is just fantastic. It's a little bit smaller than I was expecting initially. The promo shots made him seem a little bit bigger. But I'm not complaining, as I am going to give paint and detail 2 solid stars. A solid star each, and now, let's take a look at articulation. The cool thing about Zigra's articulation in the tentacles over here is that it can allow you a different display option for this figure, as when you turn them inside like so, you can actually have Virus stand. And hey, yo, look at that. It can stand by itself without the help of my hand, and it's carrying this gaudy as hell top loader with its tag. It didn't even fall over. Yeah, that does mean you'll have all the underside details kind of, out front, but does that really bother anybody? Anyway, this French fry hand of horror and then some can rotate all the way around at each tentacle, which I do very much appreciate. I wasn't really expecting much else beyond all of this. I was hoping for some head articulation, but yeah, just take a look at that. You already know. Glue sealed. And yeah, these will be glued on as well. So the articulation for Viras over here is strictly going to be in the tentacles. But seeing as how I can turn these things towards the inside and actually save some shelf space with this line that has a lot of characters who are rather wide and with wings, that gets a solid star in and of itself, because goddamn, I am running out of shelf space, and this is a shelf saver. Viras is probably my favorite enemy kaiju thus far, but we still have one more figure to talk about. That's right, Guiron. Ah, there he is, Gamera Knifehead. Right off the bat, vibrant red eyes with black pupils. Both pupils are indeed looking in the same direction, so he is looking straight forward. Fantastic detail on this guy. Oh, and I really do think I can mirror the exact same sentiment a lot of people are having online when it comes to Guiron. This is probably the best redesign. While I do love Viras very much, Guiron just feels like the best translation from Showa era to now Reiwa era. I love this split jaw thing going on here. I love that it pretty much all just fits together into the bladed part of his head. It's just a really cool redesign, and it allows for the majority of his head to be used as a weapon, which is very damn cool. I mean, just look at all the detail they crammed into this guy's friggin' head. I'm always impressed with what Bandai can do, but seriously, Guiron is probably one of the better wide-released movie monster series figures released this year. That's just fantastic. He's like a weaponized, very sad doggy whale. Now, from the tip of his very sharp head, we are going to get some spikes over here. Nothing too crazy in terms of detail till at least we get over here, which is very nicely done. But now we gotta move into Guiron's body, which, hoofa. Look at that! I really like how all of these enemy kaiju, and Gamera for that matter, have this very armor-plated look to their skin. It almost makes them feel related in some way. I'm not saying they're all brothers and sisters or anything like that, but it really does feel like they're all from the same series. And the accents of metallic blue on Guiron's back, oh, fantastic. So fantastic, I wish there was a little bit more of it. But with what little footage we actually have of Guiron in the trailers, this might actually be most of what he has, although I do think there are some accents on his arms and legs. Huh? Speaking of which, holy Jesus, tap dancing Christ. This looks great. This looks fantastic. And wouldn't you know it, all of his claws are painted too, on both sides. Just not the bottom of them. But we have to take a closer look at the detail going on here, and does this man have a belly button? Huh. Anyway, moving up from the navel, moving into the titties over here. I mean, there's so much going on. It looks great. I mean, I'm gonna sound like a broken record by the end of this video, as I do with every video, but this is simply fantastic. I'm just having a very hard time not being impressed with Guiron, and I think Guiron might actually upstage that of Viras. I love how the little design continues onto his mouth up to the blade over here. Just so cool. Yeah, whoever was tasked with redesigning Guiron absolutely understood the assignment. I really just don't have anything negative to say about it. I love the mouth, I love the knife head, I love the eyes and how they stand out from the dark blue color of the body. I love the metallic blue on here. I love that all the claws are painted. I love the detail. Yeah, sorry, Squiddy, my boy. Guiron is definitely the #1 from the Gamera Rebirth line. And I do mean the entirety of the line. Beats Gamera, beats Jayker, beats Gauss. I can't deny that. Now that I said that, let's take a look at articulation. And for Guiron over here, it's a little on the basic side, but that's okay. It really does look like I'm holding a friggin' knife. Look at that. Fantastic. As you might have expected, nothing at the head over here. Full rotation at the front legs over here. And full rotation at the back legs, though they do feel like they're on like almost like a square little plug over here. If you watch how the body moves as you move the legs, it's a little worrisome, but I think it'll hold up just fine. And though it's not articulation, most of Guiron's head is going to be this very malleable vinyl, but Guiron's mouth is going to be a bit more of a harder plastic, at least until you get up here. This part of his mouth is obviously soft vinyl, though. Yeah, solid start for Guiron in terms of articulation. It's basic, but it works, and if you say anything different, I'll fucking cut you. Overall, if these are indeed the final figures we'll be getting from Gamera Rebirth, I kind of doubt it. I will say they ended this little sub-line within the movie monster series off with a bang. We got some great figures out of it. I mean, out of the 6, we got one major dud that I think everybody can kind of agree is a bit on the mid side. That to me is a win. I do so hope you all enjoyed this review. There will be links to all 3 of these in the comment section down below in the pinned comment. Those are my affiliate links. A click and a purchase with those help the channel out quite a bit. And that's it for me for the rest of this week. I'm taking a break. I gotta work on Patreon stuff. So watch this video, share it with your friends, your neighbors, your parents, the whole 9 yards. Check out my social media and Patreon, all that other good stuff. $1 a month, access to everything. Have yourselves a lovely day, afternoon, night, weekday, or weekend day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.